The Last Clue is a production of Smith Media Team, LLC. If you have any information about this case, please email us at info@smithmediateamllc.com. Listener discretion is advised.
Last week, on The Last Clue, we retraced the final night of OU rugby player Joe Powell. From the lively bars of Campus Corner to the chilling silence of a doorbell camera that captured his last known movements, the story revealed more than just timelines. We uncovered heart rate data from Joe's Garmin watch, unexplained gaps in activity, and a phone found blocks away from where police said the confrontation took place. These revelations expose contradictions between police reports, witness accounts, and the official homicide ruling. And one haunting question remains. What really happened to Joe Powell that night? And why are there still more questions than answers? But first, there is more clarity on another mystery surrounding the Joe Powell case. The original case report listed a 59-year-old reporting person who was later omitted from the final incident report. The Norman Police Department Public Information Office told us, quote, "This individual was in relation to Powell, and the type for this individual was incorrectly entered on the initial report. This individual should have been listed as other. The error was corrected." End quote. So we would like to thank Norman PD for clarifying something that we have been talking about for several podcasts involving the mysterious reporting person who was there and then he was gone. Now we have more clarity that
DB Cooper has been cleared up.
Yes. The reporting person mystery has been solved.
Before we get started, we do want to welcome our new listeners and subscribers from Belmore, New York, Merrillville, Indiana.
I don't know someone. I know of someone who graduated from Merrillville, Indiana, and I think that it will have particular interest to you.
Do tell.
This man is considered to be the greatest basketball coach of all time.
Would it be inappropriate for me to jump up and start fist pumping right now because I hope I know where this is going?
He is a multi-time NBA champion coach. He is the GOAT.
Oh, I'm excited right now.
He is none other than the legend from your San Antonio Spurs.
Yes.
Coach Greg Popovich.
Oh, Coach Pop. I love Coach Pop so much. Oh, that just made my heart happy. We also want to welcome our new listeners and subscribers from Los Angeles.
That's got to be Keith Morrison from Dateline, right?
I feel like it has to be.
He listens to the show. We know he does. He won't admit it. I mean, we'd like him to give us a shout out every once in a while on X or, Instagram or whatever. But he listens to the show.
There's no argument against that. Chesterfield, Derbyshire, England, and Leeds in Yorkshire, England. Wherever you're listening right now, we thank you so much and welcome you to The Last Clue.
And now, Joe Powell, Episode 5, The Witching Hour. It's approximately 3 a.m. on March 7th, just this year. It's around 50 degrees outside, and the place is none other than the area around Campus Corner in Norman, which is a hub for students, sports fans, locals, visitors, everyone that goes to Norman goes to Campus Corner. Joe Powell had been out with friends. He was celebrating, relaxing, living a night that was supposed to be ordinary. He had intended to head home earlier, but at some point, his plans and his path changed. But here's where the evidence, the technology, and the timelines collide, and it starts with Joe's Garmin watch.
Now, if you recall, we went over the data from Joe's Garmin watch that we had obtained. And from 2:02 to 2:04 a.m., his heart rate was at 95 beats per minute, which is pretty significant increase from Joe's standard resting heart rate, which ran in the 40s. And from 2:04 to 2:06 a.m., his heart rate spiked to 103. Then between 2:07 and 2:53 a.m., Joe's watch records show no activity.
And it wasn't a dead battery.
No, it was not.
Maybe a drop connection. We're still working that out.
Possibly.
Or could it have been something or someone else?
When the Garmin reconnects with Joe's phone at 2:54, his heart rate is steady at 66 beats per minute. While that's normal, it's a little higher than Joe's resting heart rate, which was in the 40s. Then things escalate. From 3 a.m. to 3:02 a.m., his heart rate jumps to 83. And then 3:04 to 3:06 a.m., it spikes again to 100.
And that's more than double what his resting heart rate is.
Absolutely. So something has changed and something is happening.
So what happens from there?
Well, and then another blackout. From 3:07 a.m. to 3:35, nothing. When the data resumes, Joe's heart rate is plummeting again. 3:36 to 3:38 a.m., it falls to 44, and then 3:44 to 3:46 a.m., it's now down to 43 beats per minute. Now, these numbers are at or below his natural resting rate, but it's a chilling sign that Joe was already slipping away out in the cold of night.
By the time Norman Police Department officers arrive, Joe is on the ground. He's bleeding from his skull and neck. But nearby, just a few feet away, stand 3 men. They claim there was an altercation. They claim Joe tried to carjack their truck, which was a white 2024 Ford F-250 Super Cab, which had a tool trailer attached to the back and was also adorned with Oklahoma State University license plates. and they claimed the whole confrontation was in a single punch. But here's the thing. Joe was a rugby player.
He was.
He was absolutely no stranger to physical contact. If you have ever witnessed rugby, that is one of the most violently hard-hitting sports you will ever see.
Very physical.
So what the witnesses in this case have told us is that a single punch led to Joe's catastrophic injuries, and it doesn't add up. Now, according to the Norman Police Department Public Information Offices, and we quote, investigators thoroughly investigated and followed up on all leads and relevant information. All involved parties were cooperative throughout the investigation. So, we've never heard a public statement from any of the witnesses, or as we're calling them, involved parties, regarding the Joe Powell incident.
Questions. So many questions. That's a very vague statement, if you ask me.
But we don't just have the police records. We also have audio. For the first time, the 911 call made that night has been released, and we're going to play it in its entirety. I'd like to warn our listeners and subscribers, what you're about to hear is disturbing. Listener discretion is advised.
Norman 911, what's the address of your emergency?
The address is 305 East Boyd Street.
Okay, what's going on over there?
So this guy tried to get in me and my buddy's truck, and I got out, and he would not get away from us, and I hit him. I knocked him out. He's still breathing. He's snoring. That's what you can hear in the background. But he is asleep on the ground, and he busted his head. I just want to make sure that he's all right. But he did try and get knocked up.
Okay, all right. And so you knocked him out. What did you knock him out with?
My hand. He's still breathing. I checked his pulse. He's still breathing. Blows a rhythm.
All right, just down the line with me.
I got you.
All right, just stay on the line with me. So walk me through what happened again. So he approached you guys.
So we were sitting in the truck, and he walked up to our truck, and he tried to open up our door, and he banged on our door. And we rolled the window, and I was like, "Hey, what do you want?" And he was like, "Get out." And I was like, "No, like, what do you want?" And he was like, "Get out." And he was trying to talk all crazy to us. Well, then he tried to open our door, so I got out and I hit him, and he went to sleep, and now he's still asleep.
Okay.
And we've tried to wake him up, 911. I checked his pulse. He's snoring, but he does look cold.
No. Okay, stay on the line with me.
But also, whenever he fell, whenever I hit him, he did hit his head, and a little bit of blood on the back of his head.
All right. I've got that information. Let me see where some officers are. They should be pulling up on you pretty quickly.
Yeah, they're here. I see him.
All right. Well, go ahead and disconnect, okay?
That was chilling. And the muffled sound you heard in the background is Joe Powell fighting for his life. He is fighting to breathe. That is the sound that you hear in the background almost the entire 911 call.
They called it snoring, but it's a known fact that Joe hit his head. So that sounds to me like a brain starving for oxygen and a man trying to get that oxygen to his brain, on top of what I also thought I heard in the background of female voices.
Did you hear that too?
I did.
Notice in the reports there are no females mentioned,
None.
but yet it did sound to me, and I don't hear well, but it did sound to me like there were female voices in the background.
Yes, and I feel like I heard it in 3 separate areas. At the very end, potentially more than one female voice.
And our sources have told us that these 3 men were in town, potentially, and we don't know for sure because we haven't been able to vet this yet, but potentially visiting a female in the area. And again, as we mentioned in previous podcasts, this happened in the parking lot of the Rev Apartments. So, question 1, why are 3 men sitting in a vehicle at 3 a.m.? And 2, if they were visiting a female that happened to live in any of the apartments in the area, why were they out there? Why are their voices being heard during the 911 call? And we'll add something to that near the end of this podcast.
Where are those female witness statements? And still so many questions.
This is the story that these 3 men told dispatchers. A story that they've stood by ever since.
Do we know why they stood by that story? Because if somebody new is coming in and listening to this, they're going to say something to the effect of, sounds like a concerned citizen calling 911 just to check up on the victim as they stated.
But there's also the huge gap. That's the elephant in the room. That's what we've been focused on. Why did these 3 quote unquote upstanding men who made a 911 phone call to have EMS come check on this man. Why did they wait over 40 minutes
Yep.
to make that phone call? He is very concise in what he says. He says, I hit him with one punch. He went to the ground, and we were concerned, and I'm paraphrasing here. I'm
Right.
not quoting. We were concerned and wanted to make sure he was okay.
Why are you making sure he's okay? 40 minutes later.
But here's the undeniable fact. Joe Powell is dead.
Sadly.
He never got the chance to tell his side. Norman police investigators have stated, quote, investigators determined that Joe Powell's phone was at this location prior to the reported altercation and had been there for some time based on data gathered from the device during the investigation. The investigation indicates that Powell likely dropped the device in the area where it was found just off Boyd. No other fingerprints were located on the device. You're already talking about 3 men that waited 40 plus minutes to make a 911 call to someone who had extremely distressed breathing.
Yes.
And was clearly bleeding from his skull and neck area. But there were no other fingerprints on the device, is what we're being told.
Okay.
That phone, Joe's phone, was found blocks away from where the fight supposedly took place, if it was even considered a fight. So why wasn't it on his person? Why was it left behind long before this so-called confrontation? Could Joe have been searching for his phone when things escalated? That's a possibility.
It's a very good possibility.
Because our sources have said that Joe had misplaced or lost his phone before. Not necessarily the phone he had.
Right.
But in the past, when he'd had a cell phone, he had misplaced or lost it. So
right.
It is possible
it is
that Joe was looking for his phone. Remember earlier in the night when Joe's group of friends was at Logie's?
Yes, Logie's on Campus Corner.
And Joe mentioned he thought a few men were, quote, trying to start something, end quote.
I believe he even said that more than once.
His friends brushed it off. They said it was just Joe's protective nature. But was he right all along?
Here's where the contradictions become impossible to ignore. Norman Police Department says, case closed. However, the Oklahoma Medical Examiner,
State of Oklahoma Medical Examiner,
cause of death, homicide.
Now, I know if the mayor of a city says, I don't want any flags in my city anymore, and I'm making a declaration. If the governor says, oh, no, you're not, you're going to have flags in your city, and you're going to STF you until I can make it to your city to deal with you in person. Who wins that argument?
That would be the governor.
Exactly.
How can one agency close the book while another officially rules a young man's death a murder?
I will almost guarantee you that this ruling, somehow, some way, after seeing how things work in the state of Oklahoma, I will almost guarantee you that autopsy report is changed at some point, and we are going to be there when it's changed.
Oh, that hurts my heart. And if this was a simple misunderstanding or even a tragic fight gone wrong, why have the men involved retained attorneys and refused further comment?
You know why. They are protecting themselves at all costs.
Sure sounds like it. Family still needs answers, though.
There are still gaps. There's still silences in the record. Why were there 2 blackouts in Joe's Garmin data? Why did his phone end up in a ditch that Norman Police Department has told us was blocks away? Why did the police record shift from assault to carjacking? And why did Joe Powell, an athlete in his prime, a rugby player, collapse and never rise again after what was described as just one punch? These aren't just questions for his family. They're questions for all of us.
Next time on The Last Clue, when first responders arrived, did the 3 men who claimed Joe attempted to carjack their vehicle tell the same story they told 911? Or did their words shift in the heat of the moment? Coming up on the next episode of The Last Clue, we will review the body cam footage of the night of the Joe Powell incident.
And I'll say I overreacted and I hit him. Just one time. I did not hit him anymore.
You would think he'd get up, but
Anybody get a video?
I would have.
We'll analyze their statements side by side. This is Season 2, Episode 6. Next week, The Aftermath.
The Last Clue is a production of Smith Media Team, LLC. If you have any information regarding the murder of Joe Powell, email us at info@smithmediateamllc.com. Follow and review The Last Clue by searching on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, iHeartRadio, or wherever you listen. And always, search for The Last Clue.